Hey, hi everyone, good evening. My name is Rebecca Claire. I'm named after St. Clare of Assisi, who is the patron saint of television, so I want to talk to you guys about television. A little bit about television. I have a lot to say about television. Now, for one, television can heal mental illness, but it can also cause mental illness, okay? So I really want you guys to monitor children's content, especially around the age of 3, because if there's sex scenes on TV, it could cause DID, multiple personality disorder. It could cause a child's mind to fragment, which could, because it will process internally as an actual molestation, okay? Number 2, and my doctor confirmed that. I brought that up. They're like, yeah, that could happen if now that we think about it. And so I wanted to let you guys know that. A great way to cleanse your body temple mentally is to rename your nervous system, so-called nervous system, because they named everything Neuron, okay, after Neuron Caesar, which was the Antichrist in the Bible. We're changing it to Mem, after a lot of NDE teachings about the letter Mem or M in your hand. There's actually a whole Mem if you look at it and study your palm, and you'll see. And Mem links to the name Messiah or Mission. It has the same pronunciation. I wanted to share that with you guys. Next I wanted to talk to you guys about some various television shows that were brought up to me in the spirit. This is okay. So I was like a brand new teacher. I saw like people that were getting lined up before the Father in heaven after death, and they were charged like a judgment day, like questioned, and they had their accuser. The accuser was there. He said they put on these things for their kids, these television shows for their kids. Okay. Disney was one of the main issues, and he was charging them with molesting their kids. Like one of the worst things you could get charged for as a parent. So I thought that was so wild and so extreme. But they have sexual subliminals, and I found one in one of the movies. It was a full-blown sodomy scene in one of the Disney movies, which is inappropriate for children. I don't care what everyone was doing in the name of so-called adult humor. That is not good to have those kinds of subliminals in the background of children's movies, especially very innocent young minds. So anyways, that was one issue. The other issue with Disney is they do put 666 on their cover and written in the title, and they also are putting it on their cards and different media and stuff like that. Like they have like headbands, and they're putting that right on the kid's forehead right there. Just little mockers, okay, and don't give power to those people. But I just want to point that out to people. There is an actual agenda there. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Please don't put that on for your kids. I saw that teachers are vulnerable because teachers just put that stuff on, not thinking. And like, because everyone grew up with it. Like, what do you mean it's so innocent? We all grew up with it. No, it's not as innocent as we thought it was. We walked through what they walked through. A lot of us were like, well, we're fine. We walked through that, but it's not fine because some people do get ill because of that and go through spiritual issues and such. Depending on what they have going on in their family, and their mental health, okay, and spiritual health. A lot of this stuff is spiritual. Now that Disney was one of the main issues. So next thing I want to talk to you guys about is Harry Potter. Okay, so I read all my Harry Potter books. I had like some sort of spiritual manifestation where I felt like wind blowing out of my ears and whistling after I burned those Harry Potter books. When I looked up this stuff, there's actually in the book of Acts, they come across this guy named Yeshua the Magician, or Jesus the Magician, okay, the Magi. Okay, so this is part of that is a little bit confusing. Now, they wrote the entire Harry Potter book in the name of Christ, basically. It's supposed to be a Christian book, okay? So, this is the thing. They write out the entire gospel story in that book. However, this is a magician, like a wizard, magi, okay? He's called Yeshua, like Jesus, Yeshua, okay? And he's teaching kind of pagan witchcraft, okay? Now, in the book of Acts, that man got cursed dead. Okay, he was considered the false prophet. Okay, Yeshua the Magi. Okay, it doesn't mean that Daddy didn't like Magi, because the three Magi, the three wise men at the beginning, he likes those guys. Okay, but what it does mean is you need to be very careful, because you don't know that person, the writer's heart or intent. You don't know if they meant good or evil. So, like, don't judge them. But I would definitely avoid that content for your kids. Because it's like, they're trying to accuse, I don't want anyone, getting spirits and stuff, and getting led out of the body of Christ because of this stuff. The Bible does say in the book of Revelations that sorcerers and such will not inherit the kingdom of heaven. Okay, it does say that. It says, it's basically talking about mind poisoners, people who manipulate and stuff like that. People who are evil and do sorceries and divinations. And you have to look up the actual Hebrew words for that too, because if you're talking, and that's for y'all's protection too, because if you're ever talking to someone who believes that stuff, they're going to bring that up. They said, what does the actual Hebrew say? Because a lot of that is English interpretation, and we want to know what they're actually saying, okay? So, they want to know, like, genuinely, they some of them, okay? Maybe not all of them. Some of them don't care, but the ones that would want to know right from wrong in regards to that stuff would care. So please, come back in with back that knowledge, okay? So anyways, I think when they're talking about Magi, they're not really talking about pagan Magi. They're talking about the original Hebrew Kabbalists, okay, which is forbidden teaching even for the Jews, and only certain people, kind of specialize or specialize and given that hidden knowledge to share. Okay, so it is not for the average believer, it is not for the average person, and most Jews will tell you if you mess with that, you will go insane and lose your mind. Okay, so we say don't mess with that. That includes crystals, which is a part of that. That's a part of healing, the healing work that it was hidden, not necessarily for the average believer, Christian, and stuff like that. And the Jews do testify about that even to this day. So I just wanted to let you guys know that you have to have very special permission to be able to study those things, I believe. Okay, if at all. Okay. So the next thing I want to tell you guys is, let's see. Okay, so that was Harry Potter. That was Disney. Next I want to hit is, let's see, what's the next realm in the movie industry? I had this guy walk up to me. He looked like one of the paintings of St. Peter, Sheba Kefa, and he just started talking about all this movie stuff that I just studied about, and he just started talking about it. He's like, yeah, and he brought up Looney Tunes. He just looked like him, and he just started talking randomly about it. I was like, wow, I was like, I don't even know if that's him or not, but that's amazing, Him in the name of Christ that was talking to me about this stuff. And he was talking openly in front, like we were ministering together to someone, just by talking about it in front of them. So it was really cool. I don't know if it's him or not, or just, it was just a cool happening. But I wanted to share it with you guys. So that's a cool testimony. And also, Looney Tunes. Okay, there's a lot of hidden symbolisms. I actually found one, a sexual one in the background. I just let you guys know. I can't find a lot. I didn't see a whole lot of research on that, so I wanted to let you guys know about that one too. And they have obscenities, like Bugs Bunny looks like he's flicking someone off in one of them. So they have a little bit more extreme obscenities in those. I'm getting weird warnings, like guard yourselves with Universal, guard yourselves with a lot of the kids content, learning content. Just guard yourselves. I don't want to point out stuff, but guard yourself with Universal. It's a mixed company of believers and non-believers. Guard yourself with, I have Land Before Time, but I don't think I didn't see subliminals in Land Before Time. I did do my research. I don't want to slander Land Before Time. That was one of my favorite ones. I'm like, why am I seeing that? But the only word I got was, you didn't do your research before you put that on for someone else. And I was like, even though it's one of your favorite, it was just kind of being used, I guess, as a teaching tool. Like, did you research that before you put it on? I was like, no, I did it. I just grew up with it. It was like, well, that means you didn't quite learn your lesson with that, you see. So, anyways, My Little Pony has a Baphomet. It's a goat. His name is Discord. Right? It's a little goat. He looks like Baphomet if you look at him close. If you look at him, that's what he looks like. He's meant to represent that spirit of chaos and Gnosticism. And I was like listening to one of the kids next to me. They were singing some sort of song that was in that, and it was just like it sounded demented. And she's this little kid. She's like singing this song like it sounds upbeat, but that also sounds like my demons have demons. Like that's what she was singing like repetitively. I was like, So I told my friend, my family member who had that on. I was like, you have to monitor that. You have to take that down probably. I don't know if they did or didn't, but I just like to tell people it's kind of like a Christian neighborhood watch. It's just kind of like virtues training, what we call in the Catholic Church. And I saw that Taylor Swift is not appropriate to be put on if you're a teacher in the Catholic Church, because we just put this giant T-shirt on the Christ Redeemer statue of Taylor Swift. I was kind of like, bye, okay. No, we didn't necessarily see this stuff, but Taylor Swift is wearing red lipstick on the 7 Mountains of Influence, riding the country bull, dressed as a harlot, dressed in scarlet, dressed as a harlot, okay. She's not, and she's seeing sexual content these days. I know that most people just put on the princess songs, but they grow up, they want to know more about Taylor Swift, and they're going to research that just like we did as adults when we wanted to know more about Britney Spears. So it's just like, just guard that content for the kids. Britney Spears was a Christian for a really long time, but has gone into atheism. I think she was even Catholic for a while. And a lot of those artists are still Christian. I used to work with celebrities, and they're not all like that. So people get really bleak and dismal, and they're like, no, all the celebrities sold their soul for wealth or fame or whatever. No, that's not true. Majority of them are Christian. They're great people. Some of them are like strong believers of the Father in heaven. They would do prayer before everything they did, a lot of them. And they would pray to Yeshua. So I just wanted to let you guys know that there's a lot of very strong and built up in the faith. Don't assume that they're all out there doing that stuff, but also guard your hearts and minds, because we have, even though we are majority Christian, we still have a lot of corruption out there. So we also have, we are also all sinners in need of a savior, and we do stuff without thinking. Okay, so we're all the sick in need of a physician. Sometimes the stuff we do, we think we're being funny, but it's actually not funny. We think we did something in purity, but it wasn't pure. Like, for example, I was hanging out with a friend of mine. She's in middle school. Well, like, my friend's parents, they used to, like, shimmy dance in front of me, like, to be funny, to make us laugh. It was always done for that. But then, like, once I came more to the church and more to the faith, and I went and we did this little dance. We went to a wedding. We're all dancing at the wedding, and I did this shimmy. Well, after we were all out there shimmying, it came to me like, did you realize that's a sexual dance move? And someone said, I guess, like, I got a spiritual message about that. I was, like, really convicted about it. I was like, wow, I never considered it that. Like, I've never considered it that. But that is originally what that dance move was supposed to be in those time periods. So I just wanted to let you guys know. I was like, no. And I didn't think about that. But we don't always see those things, and Christ is slowly restoring us more and more to purity. So, yeah. I don't know everything. Anyways, and I'm learning more about dressing appropriately. Like Christ is working with me on modesty, humility. I started noticing a lot of the clothing in society that we think is pure is not really pure. Like they have they situate places that they shouldn't and stuff like that, but it covers stuff. That's what people say. Like, well, yeah. So I started learning about that too. Yeah. But I wanted it. Let me see. Media. Let me think. Um, those are just some of the occult activity I saw in media. I want you guys to be really careful around country music because they're riding the bull, okay, which represents sometimes veil pure. And I want you guys to just be on guard and guard your hearts and minds against that country music industry who is so majority Christian, okay? But please do not think they're all doing the right thing there just because they mention God the Father in their songs or Christ or anything like that. And just pay attention to those things, okay? And so yeah, I have a lot more to share with you guys. I'm going to read you the video I did earlier today because I need to talk more in the quietness of God, those things. So you can watch that if you want to. If not, don't worry about it. I'm going to redo it. I hope that's helpful. It doesn't hurt anyone's consciousnesses. Maria Della said that there is going to be, people could go mentally ill because of a lot of those movie issues. It's because of subliminals, because the subliminals do hypnosis. It also overloads the mind with information sometimes and noise. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. So it should be more healing to unplug and empower. And make sure you renew the mind by the word. And you can still listen to worship music and stuff like that. Because worship music definitely breaks, the anointing breaks the yoke of the enemy. Worship music helps renew the mind, and it should help a lot more to listen to the purity music and the Christian realm and stuff like that. I know the world is majority Christ friendly right now. I can explain that. It's really good news. Okay, so Muslims do believe that there's a Christ and Antichrist. They're Christ friendly. Okay, they just don't believe that he is the Son of God or God Himself, is what I was told. Hindus believe in Krishna, and they could have connected Christ to Krishna. They say Krishna and Krishna, so they are Mashiach friendly. Jews are coming more into the Messianic Judaism. There's only 1% of Jews left in the world, like maybe less than that. And the rest is mostly Christian, Catholic. They don't always mix the Christian Catholic statistics, but they believe in Messiah. So the majority of this world is Messiah friendly. There's no reason to be afraid or freak out, but we have a lot of power and authority over this enemy that would be coming against our minds and hearts. I just want to encourage everyone, petition your senators, petition your bishops. What I would petition for is the holy name restoration in the USA, Yeshua or Yahushua. Another thing I'm petitioning for is change of barcodes to our senators because it's triggering for the mentally unwell. And there's a lot of speculation, rumors, and suspicions about barcodes and stuff like that. That was a little oppressive to the mentally ill. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. So please petition. I think it would calm a lot of the war stuff. It would calm a lot of stuff that is going on in our society today. Right. Love and blessings, everyone.